Purple Daily is daily Vikings entertainment. We just want the Vikings to win a Super Bowl before we die.
I will ride with this group.
Seriously, man. Please.
And away we go.
Write this down.
Yes.
Write it down. You like writing things down.
It is a Write That Down Wednesday here on Purple Daily. And before we get to accountability session, before we get to predictions, let's go to Quick Trip and fuel up here, Judd. Let's go get some gas, some snacks.
Yep. Hold on a second. Okay. The car is low. It's near E. Oh, no, it's not, because I wouldn't do that. I would fuel up halfway through at Quick Trip. And then, you know what? While I'm there and I'm fueling up my car, I have to fuel up Sports Dad. And look at all of the choices here. You got the Karuba coffee. You got delicious choices in salads. This is, yes, it's a convenience store, but it's a convenience store that's really a grocery store. I mean, pizza's right there, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, everything that you could possibly want. And let's say that you say, you know what, I don't really want to go in, Sports Dad. What can I do? Well, you could just put that app right on your phone. They'll bring it out to you while you get that gas tank to F, because we all know that driving with low gas is a bad idea. We know that, and Quick Trip knows that they have the answer to avoid that.
Disagree. Wait till you get 4 to 5 miles of cruising range and then go find a Quick Trip, and you'll be just fine, kids. By the way, on the YouTube channel, you saw the Roku TV with our faces on it. So, yeah, this is going to be weekend number 3, I believe, of football viewing on the new Mackie 65-inch 4K Roku TV. America's #1 streaming platform is Roku. They make TVs as well, all in one. Go to Roku.com to learn more or shop at a retailer near you. Premium TV, free TV, all the different apps, you name it. You get access to all your streaming platforms, live news, sports, whatever it is. Roku.com to learn more. Or go find a glorious one at a local retailer like my wife and I did a couple weeks back. So here's how Write That Down works. And hopefully I don't break this is my backup streaming setup because we had some technical meltdowns last week. So this is the most tabs I've had open. So pray for all of us here. But here's how Write That Down works. 3 Vikings or football-related predictions from everybody each week. They must be quantifiable. Those are the rules. We keep track of completion percentage and touchdowns. And listeners, if you want to participate, you can send Declan a message through the Score North app, and we will get you scheduled for some time here. Jared is going to be our guest listener predictor very shortly. A juicy accountability session here, boys. Are you mentally prepared?
I think so.
Well, let's start with Judd.
A
lot of red for Judley. So you said, we'll start with the bad.
Oh, thanks, CJ Ham.
Make sure the buzzer's not turned up too loud here. Blow out your eardrums. You said the Vikings will open the season with a starting quarterback who is not Kirk Cousins.
Dang.
And they will score a touchdown on their opening drive as part of a parlay.
Yeah. Thanks, CJ Ham.
Fumble, CJ Ham. You said Big Leg Bill, or now he did an interview with Josh Metellus on Vikings Entertainment Network, and they floated a couple other nicknames, and then was it special teams coordinator who threw out some nickname ideas? We got some nickname ideas floating.
Matt Daniels had a terrible one.
Stryker is
Stryker's not going to. No.
Next thing, there's a Mortal Kombat character named Stryker, so that's all I think about. I don't really like that, and I love Mortal Kombat, and I like Stryker.
It
but
needs
I don't like
to be a
world record.
It needs to be a play on his name.
Yeah, I think we're sticking with Big Leg Bill on this show for
I'm
now.
fine with that.
Bill.
But you said he'd make 2 or more field goals against the Gigantes, the Giants. He did not. You said Sam Darnold would complete 3 or more passes to Aaron Jones in week 1.
Oh.
The pain in Judd's voice. You said the Vikings would be in 22 personnel.
That's 21.
Football.
21.
Their first play of the season against the Giants. That would be 2 running backs and 2 fullbacks. It was 2 running backs. 2 running backs and 2 tight ends is what you predicted. It was 2 running backs and 1 tight end for 21 personnel.
Yeah. I'll talk to him because I feel like that was a miscommunication between the head coach and I.
It was heavy, but it wasn't as heavy as
It
you
wasn't
had
as heavy
predicted.
as I wanted it.
You said Cam Bynum would agree to a contract extension by week 1. No love. And you said I get a couple more wrong ones here. By the time this season starts, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce would be engaged.
No faith. Absolutely no faith.
And there's that whole PR thing where there's apparently like a planned breakup later on this month that leaked.
Yeah, that's not happening.
No.
They're having a
whole
blast at the
thing's
U.S. Open. No.
I agree.
You said the NFL would approve the use of the Sky Judge before the 2024 season.
You should.
They did not yet. But you did sort of salvage with, I think we consider this a touchdown, that Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels would start week 1, but Drake May would not. Technically a 3-part parlay.
Yep.
Very specific there. So not great. Not great, Bob. Not great for me either.
Oh, boy.
We'll start with the bad. I said Will Reichard would make 3 or more field goals against the Giants.
One up me. Yep.
I said the Gangster would lead all Vikings players in pressures in week 1 against the Giants. You know, I'm not even mad about losing this one. My point was Andrew Van Ginkel is awesome and one of the best players on the team, and I was validated in week 1. Thank you very much. All the mocking from you guys.
No one mocked you. I just said I didn't.
Oh,
think
there
was
was
top 5.
plenty.
Well,
plenty.
Declan mocked you. He went after you.
I was mocked and shocked. I think more the latter. Mocked and shocked. That's a good shirt idea. Mocked and shocked.
He went after you hard.
I gave you a week 1 parlay of Giants offense will score 16 points or fewer, Sam Darnold at least 1 touchdown pass, and Will Reichard at least a 40-yard field goal. I wasn't even asking for much.
Man.
I said Mekhi Blackman, Blake Brandel, and Josh Oliver would all be starters in week 1. This could have come off the board when Blackman went down. Before I became a full-on Darnold defender, I said he would combine for 4 sacks and turnovers in week 1. Then I saw the light. Said Tom Brady's first game as a broadcaster would set a viewership record of some kind. So Fox Sports PR, I'm self-reporting this one. I almost fought for this, but Fox Sports PR put out a graphic on Twitter touting it was the highest rated game in that time slot since whatever year, and it was the most watched Fox program since January, but technically those aren't like records.
Yeah.
So.
And Tom got the criticism still flowing in. It's rolling in.
I mean, I think I stand by what we talked about the other day on Mackey and Judd's statements. Someone clearly got to him and said, hey, man, you got to dumb it down for the national. You got 25 million people watching, and they're not all football wonks. And I would go back to him and say, dude, do whatever you want, man. Like, if you want to talk in football gibberish, let us Google terms and catch up to you. But just be Tom Brady.
Right.
And if you're, like, talking above the audience, we will get smarter and figure it out. It was like he was thinking and pausing, how can I dumb this down? He was paralyzed by trying to essentially convey what he's seeing to a national audience. Dude, just go.
More Drew Bledsoe. That's what I want. I want more Drew Bledsoe.
Jeez.
Just ripping guys. Said the Vikings would start a rookie on offense or defense in week 1. Dallas Turner did not technically start. But I did say the Vikings would run the ball at least 25 times. They only did that 6 times last year, so they ran the ball 26 times in this game. Mm-hmm. And then I gave you this specific 3-item parlay, a PFF grade parlay, that among the 5 highest graded defensive players, Ivan Pace, Andrew Van Ginkel, and Josh Metellus would make up at least 3 of the 5. Little touchdown there. Mm-hmm. Still a terrible week. Listeners had a great week. So awesome. We'll start with the one bad. Andrew said Harrison Phillips, Aaron Jones, and Blake Cashman would all be captains in 2024. I think only Harrison Phillips of that group is a captain. But our guy Cooper said
nice.
Kirk Cousins would have a turnover before a touchdown this year. This is a great one.
This is awesome.
He said the Vikings' first sack, interception, and touchdown, offense or defense, would all be made by players who weren't on the team in 2023.
Cooper.
That's a touchdown.
Oh.
First sack, Andrew Van Ginkel. First interception, Andrew Van Ginkel. First touchdown, Aaron Jones.
That's a 70-yard Anthony Richardson
baby.
Special.
Yeah, dude.
Okay, that's really good. That's awesome.
Coop. And then Nate comes in and says, before the start of the regular season, Declan would select for a write that down. So he had like a month and a half maybe. And he said Declan would select one of these following prominent wrestling names to appear on a write that down segment in like basically August. He made you take your headphones off. And he said, We're all wrestling fans here.
Yeah.
And so Declan in the next month and a half would select someone named Steve Austin, Shawn, Michael, or Dwayne to participate on Write That Down. And you did indeed select a guy named Michael or Mike
incredible.
in the last month.
Oh, that's awesome. That is awesome.
That's some great thought right there.
That's
hilarious. Again,
That's a
bravo,
touchdown for
listeners.
Nate.
Yeah.
And then, so you take all that combined with listener Derek on last week's episode, went 2 for 3 with his in-show predictions, 2 of them being touchdowns, and listeners
Clean it
on
up.
fire.
Give it up.
Mercy.
Declan, kind of a mixed bag. Ultimately, I think you'll probably take this with your big lead. We'll start with the bad. You said the Vikings would execute a successful screen pass that results in a first down or a touchdown. They did one screen pass. It was a 5-yard gain to Ty Chandler, but it was a 1st and 10 play. So it was a good
Baby
play.
Steps. Yeah, baby steps into a successful thing. That
Just
we
keep
can't
making that
execute.
prediction every week until it comes true.
Yeah, I might. I could.
Now, what's funny is if you would have left this at the Vikings would execute a successful screen pass,
Right.
the definition of a successful play is 50% of the yards on first down.
Sure.
And then I believe it's 40% of the yards on second down and 100% of the yards needed on third down.
Yeah.
Getting 5 yards on first down would have been a successful play by analytics definition, but
Yeah.
And we would have mocked you, though.
And I would
just
absolutely I
mocked
wanted
you for
this.
that.
I wanted the success.
Yeah, something
I wanted
really, really tangible
real
on that
success.
football field.
Yeah,
I
real
like it.
tangible success.
so you said also the Vikings would attempt at least one non-quarterback pass against the Giants. Vikings-Giants that the total would drop to 39.5 at some point before kickoff. I saw 41.
Yeah, I don't think I ever dropped from that.
We'll see multiple kickoffs return for touchdowns in week 1. We had one. The Arizona Cardinals had one, pretty sure. You said Darnold would throw for at least 300 yards in week 1 against the Giants. I mean, if they didn't have such a big lead.
Yeah, maybe.
And Jaquelin Roy would play career-high snaps in week 1.
Not gonna play snaps here anymore.
No. But you did say the Vikings would force at least 2 turnovers against the Giants. That Aaron Jones would rush for a touchdown in week 1. And then more specifically for a touchdown, that Aaron Jones would score a touchdown from the 5-yard line or closer in week 1.
I'll take it.
So we'll give you a touchdown on that one.
I'll take it.
So with that, Declan still leading the pack. Pretty good margin, 43.2% completions. Judd, 35%. Listeners up to 33.3%, which puts me in last place at just under 31%. Declan and listeners both tied with 7 touchdowns on the season. Judd with 5. I have 2. And then all time, the drama here is really the touchdown battle. So Declan has caught me in touchdowns at 48. But the listeners almost caught both of us with their 4 touchdowns. They have 46. Judd with 38 touchdowns. Those are career stats dating back to 2021.
What a season.
Woo!
The listeners are now just it's incredible. They have popped up after years of shooting for touchdowns and just being in the red. Now it's us in the red.
Yeah, we've been kind of urging the listeners, step your game up, you guys. You guys are football fans. What are we doing here?
Now what are we doing?
And so we got some catching up to do. So let's get Jared in here. He's actually a last minute replacement. We had a scheduling conflict with the previously scheduled guest. So Jared's coming in like Josh Dobbs, doesn't even know his teammates, doesn't even know the plays. Jared, are you ready?
Yeah, I hope I'm just still on the team in a few weeks here. So
we'll see.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, man. So, you've been on Mackie and Judd, write that down before, but tell our Purple Daily audience, what is your background as a Vikings fan? When did you start watching this team?
Born and raised. The heartbreak started early. I think the 98 season at the ripe young age of 7. So I've been fully integrated into the Vikings culture my whole life. Falling to my knees on my living room floor, watching Brett Favre throw across his body, Blair Walsh doinking it off the upright. So yeah, I've been here for it all.
Yeah. What's your level of optimism or not for this year's team? Now that they're 1-0, the wheels are on the ground.
I feel like 10 wins is reachable if we can get through these first 6 games or so. I feel like wild card is on the table. We'll see if Darnold can keep it up. We'll see.
Yeah.
The fun thing too here is that the more I think about this, if this team wins like let's say 10 games, the unexpected success factor comes in as well. Like a year from now, I think we're all going to expect, okay, it's McCarthy. This team should be good, right? So
House
if they're
money
successful, it won't be. Yeah, this is brimming with the potential for unexpected success, which, as we all know, is the most fun in sports because it's like, oh, I didn't think that this team was going to be that good, and now that they've won 10 or 11 games, so this could be fun.
Yeah. 2017 was one of the great unexpected success seasons where, okay, well, Case Keenum's in, so now the season's over. And they wind up with the best defense in the league. They're scoring a bunch of points, blowing teams out. So, all right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to start with Jared, over to Judd, back to Declan, over to me, and we'll make 3 trips around the room. So, Jared, you are under center here.
Write this down.
What is your first prediction?
All right. I'm digging the defense. I think Flores is just ramping up Dallas Turner, and we're going to continue to feel his impact. So I'm predicting that Dallas Turner will continue his sack streak. So he's got a career sack streak on the line next week, or he'll have at least 2 tackles for loss. So at least 1 sack or 2 tackles for loss.
Okay. Yeah, he came flying around. It's funny, like PFF gave really bad grades to all. Well, Van Ginkel got a nice grade, but like Grenard, Dallas Turner, but those guys, even Patrick Jones got a bad grade, but they accounted for a ton of pressures and sacks. So
they met the eye test.
Yeah, they definitely met the eye test.
Yeah, I'm not buying what PFF is selling, and defensively, more and more, I really don't. I'm done with them.
Yeah, and they've lost a lot of smart people over there.
They have.
Eric Eager and Sam Munson. Not that those guys were necessarily like specifically grading the Vikings games, but
let's just say I'm not sure that they are always, from a defensive perspective, looking for the right thing.
Maybe Sports Dad should.
I think they might be judging things that don't necessarily factor in as much as. Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying this.
Write this down.
Could teach a class. Me and
I would take that class.
Collinsworth.
Sports professor.
Guy. All right. Justin Jefferson will have 1 or more receptions of 35 or more yards on Sunday. So 1 or more. I think they're going to continue to go big game hunting down the field with the Darnold missile and the Jefferson hands. So 1 or more receptions of 35 or more yards.
How did you land on 35?
That's bad, yes.
Last one was 44 on Sunday, and I thought, okay, 40 plus is doable, but what's a real shot, but it's not inconceivable. And I thought to myself, you know what's a nice number, Judd? Sports Dad, 35.
Okay.
It was a lot.
I didn't know if there was like science behind it or.
Write this down.
Oh yeah, no, there was a lot of science.
A little bit of a spoiler for Purple Picks on Saturday, but I'm going to lock this in now. The Vikings will cover the 6.5 against the 49ers. They will cover.
I was going to include that in one.
The 6.5.
Well, you still can
against the Niners. You still can.
Just can't be a solo prediction
now. Yeah. Okay. I'll kind of go. Well, I'll reworkshop it and maybe save it for a final prediction. But
write that down.
Yeah. I mean, Niners coming off short week, Monday night.
McCaffrey ain't playing.
McCaffrey's still out. Yeah, he's not going to play.
Achilles tendonitis?
Good.
I wouldn't take a chance with that.
Yeah.
If I'm him.
I wouldn't take a chance with either of his injuries. Achilles or tendonitis.
I could use just a completion here.
Write that down.
Okay.
So the Vikings have a rushing touchdown. Congratulations, Aaron Jones. They only had 7 rushing touchdowns all year last year. So I'm going to say this. The Vikings, write this down, will rack up at least 12 rushing touchdowns on the season. So I think off the record, I think they might just go ahead and double that total. But I'm gonna go 12 rushing touchdowns or more, incremental steps toward running the ball across the goal line. Come on, Vikings.
Write this down.
You can do this. Maybe Darnold gets a quarterback sneak in there at some point. Okay, back to Jared for his second prediction.
I predict that the starting running back for the 49ers will be held to 90 rushing yards or less next week.
Okay.
Side note, what amount do you think Shanahan and 49ers are going to be fined here? I would have loved to include that prediction, but I didn't have enough research time to figure out. For like the injury.
I don't think that they will be. No, because I think that the plausible explanation is they probably told the kid on Friday, be prepared to play. Christian might not play. And that he said, and like, because when he was asked the question in the post-game TV, he basically just said, I was told on Friday. Well, he probably was told that. But I don't think that they knew. They can say they did not know most definitely that McCaffrey was out. So
yeah, here's how I interpret it. Do I think they knew on Friday that McCaffrey wasn't playing? Yes. Do I think they can tell the league, listen, if guys are questionable, we go to their backups and say, hey, prepare all weekend, mentally, physically. You're the guy. So, but it is, for fantasy owners and whatnot. A little bit of a shady dealing.
Write this down.
Yeah, if a guy has a calf and pulls himself from practice on Friday, folks, rule of thumb, probably don't try to play him that weekend. Fantasy owners, this is also on you.
The problem is it's a Monday game for fantasy owners, and so you're holding that slot open for the best fantasy player in the NFL.
I don't play, but I should give advice. That's what I should do.
Are you like a fantasy football expert?
I'm an injury expert.
You feel like there's a lack of fantasy football expert advice out there? Is that what your hot take is?
Yes, no question about it. Because they're always like, well, he's questionable. We'll see. Sports Dad, it's not we'll see. It's start or don't start.
I literally got hit this morning with 4 accounts I've never followed, but like the algorithm hit me. Fantasy football injury experts that are employed full-time by these platforms now. Where they're literally breaking down like,
I'm better.
Based on the film that I studied and the nature and the history of this injury, there's a 30% chance of Christian McCaffrey playing in week 2.
Were any
of
them
like that market's been cornered?
Were any of them ever the lead beat writer for the Star Tribune covering the Vikings? No. I've been around the sport. I know the sport. I know the body.
No, can't say that I saw Kevin Seifert dishing fantasy injury advice on the.
All right.
Write this down.
Over to me. Judd. Andrew Van Ginkel, Phil's guy, will have at least one more pick 6 this season.
Whoa, someone's on the bandwagon.
He'll have. I only said I didn't think he was top 5. It was Declan that mocked and ridiculed you mercilessly, and I said I think you're wrong about him being top 5. But once I saw the pick in the night scrimmage when he picked off Darnold, exact same play as he did on Sunday, exact same play, it turns out, as he did once last year with the Dolphins. He's got the magic hands. These are magic hands. They're cat quick.
This is not.
You don't have to tell me. I knew that when I put him as a top 5 best Vikings player, and you guys mocked me.
This is not a prediction, but I wonder if, first off, will we get offensive starters or defensive starters announced at US Bank on Sunday, most likely, Judd? Probably offense. Do we start with offense?
Yeah, I think we'd start with offense.
I wouldn't be surprised if when they do the defensive starters in the next week's game, which would be against the Texans, that maybe the gangster gets the loudest ovation of the defensive starters.
Well, the hair will be flowing, that's for sure.
The gangster. The gank master.
Write this down.
Write this down. Aaron Jones will have at least 20 touches against the 49ers.
Ooh.
I think this is going to be an Aaron Jones heavy game, whether it's in the run game or the pass game. I think we're going to see a lot of Aaron Jones touching the football. 16, I think, in week 1. I'm going to up that to 20. So at least 20 touches for Aaron Jones against the Niners. Write it down.
Okay.
Write this down.
Okay, I know we just slandered PFF grades, but I'm going to go with this one for my guy, Andrew Van Ginkel. Andrew Van Ginkel will be among the 5 highest graded Vikings defensive players in each of the next 4 games. So he will start the season a 5-game streak of being one of the 5 highest graded players in each game, Vikings defense. And I'll say among players who play at least 15 snaps.
Okay.
So we're not, if someone comes in and doesn't play enough snaps.
Technicality question. If he gets hurt before, like if he gets hurt on Sunday, does this extend to his return then?
At least 15 snaps, I think, would hold for all of this.
Just holds
so
okay.
If he plays more than 15 snaps, but I am saying it is the next 4 games. So not his next 4 games, but the next 4 games.
Oh, so the first one counted as in week 1 counted towards this.
Week 1 would be the 5th in a 5-game stretch.
So
I'm
starting
saying
Sunday.
the
I
next
got
4
you.
games. So it's kind of a parlay. He will be healthy is leg 1, and then the next 4 legs are
I think it's
he will
probably
be
touchdown.
top 5 highest grade player.
Right?
I think it's I mean, it's a 3-item parlay. It's like a 5-item parlay.
Based on a lot of.
Write this down.
All right.
Back to Jared here. Third and final prediction.
All right, last prediction. I'm personally an Ohio State fan. I have been a CJ Stroud truther from the get-go. And on the 22nd, when the Texans come to town, I've made some positive Vikings defense predictions here, but that's going to come to an end. CJ Stroud will throw for at least 275 yards and at least 3 touchdowns.
Woo.
Okay. Okay.
That's a real truther.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Jared coming in, filling in. Great job. It was very much like Josh Dobbs against the Falcons,
You're
where
running around. The coach like, why are you running? You're like, I don't know the playbook.
I don't know. I don't even know their names. I don't even know what to say. Just
Brandon
snap the
Powell,
ball. We'll
catch
figure it
this.
out.
Why'd you throw to Brandon Powell? He's not that good. I didn't know.
Write it
Thought
down.
it was
You like
open,
writing
Coach.
things down?
Exactly right.
So, Jared, since you've got this life-changing platform on Purple Daily, is there anyone in your life you'd like to thank that helped you get to this peak moment?
I'd like to thank Declan Goff's Twitter account for getting me here and
The algorithm.
and on the show. No, thank you guys for what you do. Watch the show regularly. You bring a lot of entertainment and joy to the purple listeners. So thank you.
Awesome, man.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Jared, dude.
Awesome.
Appreciate it. Good luck with your predictions and enjoy the game on Sunday. So, if you guys remember, 3 years ago, Judd lost over 40 pounds on Livia, and it's tune-up time for the sports dad here.
Yep.
It's tune-up time for the sports dad.
Been away for about a year, and so Phil's exactly right. Tune-up time, and that means dropping the weight again with the help of my friends, Livia Weight Control Centers. Look at Sports Dad there on the left and right. That is a Livia body, folks. I stopped in at my location yesterday, got all set up to drop those unwanted pounds. The one-on-one support that I have always gotten there has been fantastic. No question about that. Yesterday, no guilt here, just results. Join their nutrition plan today. Get your first 8 weeks free. Plus, Livia Medical offers weight loss medications now. For accelerated results, visit livia.com, livea.com, or call them 855-GO-LIVEA. And I'll say it again, inside or outside the state, because they can do this. So if you are watching, write that down, PD, I don't know, in Tennessee or something. Guess what? They can help you too. It's time for a tune-up for Sports Dad, and it might be a time for you to drop that weight as well. Livia.com is where it starts. Friendly and always helpful.
Yeah. Old Dexter tuning up the golf swing with his new PXG clubs that just arrived over the weekend. Huh?
Yes, that's right. I took the PXG Irons Challenge. I also found a hybrid for the first time in my life that I could hit. So shout out to PXG for not just getting my iron games better, but also finding a hybrid that fits my bag. And, if you don't believe that PXG can fit your irons and outperform your current irons, you can get a $100 MasterCard rewards card. You can go to pxg.com to find a location near you. pxg.com. Take the PXG challenge. It's a lot of fun. At the end of the day, you get to swing some golf clubs, which is always a blast too. So go to pxg.com to book that appointment.
Our final predictions coming up, and also a quarterback cesspool challenge, but Spidex Pest Control. Listen, those NFC opponents aren't the only pests that we have to deal with around here on Purple Daily.
So Sports Dad's got the old house. I love the house. It's great, but it's an old house. And guess what that means? The folks at Spidex are helping me make sure that I don't have a mice problem that I have had in
Any cockroaches or
recent
no?
years. Cockroaches, no. So they came to my house last week. That means I have now allowed 2 of our sponsors into my house. Sports Dad doesn't ordinarily allow that, but you know what? When you're fast, friendly, and efficient, he certainly does. Rodents, but by the way, just quickly, they begin scouting. So they're like scouts.
They're like advanced scouts.
They like our advanced scouts. They are scouting to move into your house when it gets cold right now.
Hey, Bob.
Outside, you got wasps.
No,
You
Joe's
got
house.
those damn box elder bugs, which are about to explode. I hate them. An offer now for our listeners and viewers. I do. Box elder bugs drive me absolutely freaking crazy. $125 off your first service by calling 952-333-8813 or check them out at Spidex.com. That's Spidex, SPIDEXX.com. Get rid of those rodents inside or outside your house. Spidex.com.
All right.
Write this down.
Back to the predictions here. Judd, what is your third and final prediction?
All right, my third and final prediction. I actually think I told you guys this on Monday to write this down, but that was informal. That was just a discussion among three friends, long forgotten. So, putting it on the record, Greg Olson will be in the booth with Tom Brady and Kevin Burkhardt for the Super Bowl.
Okay.
Oh,
I think we're going to have a three-man booth. I honestly think this move is going to be made before then, because I think that Brady, the one thing I think that would relax him a lot is if he had a guy that played in the league to bounce things off of, because that's where you get the like really interesting talk, the interesting.
Boy.
So
I'm paying you $375 million.
Dude, it's their
You got to
fault,
find
though.
you got to find your own way to relax and call a football game.
Well, yes, but the problem is they committed to this. Like it's what Fox did, in my
They
opinion.
should fire Kevin, not fire, but like if Kevin Burkhardt can't unlock Tom Brady, they should make a Kevin Burkhardt move before. Like if it was Joe Buck and Tom Brady, or if it was Jim Nantz and Tom Brady, I'm holding Kevin Burkhardt's feet to the fire.
Because you know what? Romo started off great, but that was his personality. Like I think if you put Jim Nantz with Brady tomorrow, I think you'd get the exact same result. I think he's just sort of a mechanical dude too.
yeah. Maybe you change up that Fox pregame show too. That'd be great.
Oh, you're not wrong about that.
I love
I
that.
calculated
I'm getting outlined on this.
the average age of that. I did some math this
68?
weekend. Jimmy Johnson is 80. Terry Bradshaw, I think, is 76 or 78. And then, so Michael Strahan's like the young guy. And I think he like 50? He's like, let's see here.
Gotta be.
He's probably my age. He's probably around my age.
Howie Long is the one you forget about because he looks younger than he is.
But he's got to be 60 something, right?
yeah.
So, yeah, Strahan is 52.
Okay.
A little bit younger than Judd. Let's do the math on this. And then Howie Long is got to be 65?
66.
64.
Okay. Pretty.
Kurt Menefee, I think, is almost 60.
Well,
Because he came in as like the young, spry guy, too.
Yeah, because James Brown left for CBS. CBS.
Kurt Menefee is 59.
Okay.
And then, yeah, Jimmy Johnson is 80. And then Terry Bradshaw. Let's do some math here. So the average age of that show, yeah, Bradshaw 76 years old. The the median is 64. And the average age of that show is like 65? 68 or something?
About 68.
And they haven't made a major change since 2008.
And
Cobwebs.
And if this does not work with Brady in the booth, I bet he's in the studio next year. And this is where you could make a change.
Okay.
It's my personal
good with
opinion that when it comes to these jobs too, former players that age out aren't that great because they no longer understand the game.
Yeah, but he's still close enough and
Well,
smart
he
enough
does.
where he should give
Yeah.
you 5 years of like intimate current game knowledge.
Absolutely. But the point is, what does Terry Bradshaw know about the National Football League 2024?
It's bad.
And I'm not
There's
trying to be a
like
jerk.
No,
And he's not even
it's
really
bad.
like funny anymore.
Yeah, it's they're stumbling. It's not.
They have him like
not
rip
good.
and read the highlights too at halftime. He can't pronounce names.
Yeah,
He's stumbling around.
it's
It's
bad.
just
When did we start with that, where we decided to share the wealth on highlights? I think
he's
CBS
been
does that
doing
now,
it for
too.
20 years, hasn't he? He's been doing it for a long time.
Just have
but
your
it's-
main guy read the highlights. He's a professional.
It's bad.
Anyway,
Anywho.
Over to
Declan
Dex.
got me all worked
Write
up.
this down.
All right. Write this down. So the latest QB Ringer quarterback rankings after week 1 are out. They update these every Wednesday. Sam Darnold entered week 1, number 29. In week 2, number 29. No movement.
What?
For Sam Darnold. Nope. No
Who's ahead of him? Give us 20 through 28.
Here we go.
If where's Deshaun Watson?
Okay. 28, Jaden Daniels.
That's
20
ridiculous.
27, Deshaun Watson. Who's
That's
fallen.
ridiculous, dude.
He was 24. He's fallen to 27. Will Levis, 26. He remained at 26. Russell Wilson, 27 to somehow went up from 27 to 25, even though he didn't play.
What?
That doesn't make any sense. Daniel Jones from 23 to 24. Jacoby Brissett, QB wins, from 25 to 23. Caleb Williams from 20 to 22. Baker from 22 to 21. I have no idea why Baker was 22 to begin the year. I would have probably had him inside the top 20. I wouldn't stump for like top 15 or 10, but good Lord. And then Anthony Richardson moved up from 21 to 20. So,
the Daniel Jones, way too high.
Yeah.
You're telling me you watched Daniel Jones the last couple years in week 1 and put him anywhere near the top 24? Was he 24th?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Who does these?
The Ringer.
Steven Ruiz.
Right.
I forget.
But I'm asking who in particular, because this is ridiculous.
Yeah, hold on. I'll get you the name.
Yeah, let's find a name, an address.
Let's find a name and
Yeah, Steven Ruiz. I was right. Steven Ruiz does it. Yep.
Okay,
yeah.
Steven.
Ruiz.
Let's all rally around this thing. Email him and tell him how off base.
Should we do what Dave Portnoy is trying to do to Dan Bernstein in Chicago?
No.
Don't call me Bernstein. You don't know me that well.
Because we think Sam Darnold is disrespected and should be 3 slots higher on the Ringers
call me
quarterback.
Bernie. Call me Bernie.
You don't know.
You don't know.
You
me
don't know
well
me
enough
on the level to call me
Bernstein.
my real
They all
last name.
They deserve the whole thing deserves each other.
Bernstein.
Get over yourself, everybody, and don't call me Zolgad. You guys don't know me well enough.
You don't know me on that level.
So
Anyway,
write this
do you have
down.
a prediction?
Yeah, dude, write this down. Sam Darnold will enter the top 20 at some point between now and their November 13th ranking. So I'm basically going into the Colts game. So that's when the Vikings will play the Colts. That's 2 months from now, between now and November 13th, because these do release on Wednesdays. Sam Darnold will enter the top 20 Ringer quarterback rankings. Write it down.
That would be, I mean, I know it's not, top 20 is not top 5 or top 8.
No, yeah.
We were debating Kirk. Is he 8th? Is he 12th? But that would be a monumental accomplishment for Kevin O'Connell and for Sam Darnold if he went from borderline out of the league as a starter to being a top 20 quarterback in the NFL. And I think this is realistic. I also think it's a touchdown if it happens, because that's a huge climb up. He'd have to pass some established guys.
Absolutely.
Okay, write this down. The Vikings will win at least one of their next 2 very difficult home games. Okay. So they will either beat the 49ers or the Texans or both, because I'm saying at least one.
Write this down.
And they will be 2-1 at minimum going into week 4 against the Green Bay Packers. So, all right, boys, those are the write that down predictions. The accountability session every single week. The only show in America that has the stones enough to put statistics next to our predictions. It's time now for a quarterback cesspool challenge, where we look to identify and celebrate bad quarterback play in the National Football League.
Hold your water.
So here, and after much arguing last week, I think we've landed on a set of rules that we all agree on. So high level, we're looking to identify the worst quarterback play in the NFL each week. Each member of the show drafts an individual quarterback each week. Once you use that quarterback, you may no longer use that quarterback again the rest of the season. And in a given week, we all have to pick different quarterbacks.
Right.
Now, if one of us, this is where we argued last week, because I wanted to make it, and we agreed on this like 6 months ago, but then we fought about it.
Well, actually,
we were going to
Declan fought about it. I was not.
And I'm glad he did.
I recused myself. I didn't. It became a thing.
Yeah.
You guys don't know me well enough to call me Judd. That's what I've decided. Just from now on, Mr. Sports Dad or nothing.
I love how his co-host too was like, so they were kind of mouthing to each other off the mic, but they were still on camera. What did he call you? And he's like, Bernstein. Yeah, bro, that's your name.
Kind of like Decky for me. It's the opposite. It's like that's a term of endearment. You gotta be able to know me for long enough to call me Decky.
What did he call you? Decky.
Decky. That's
Decky.
SOB.
Son of a...
Yeah.
So rather than picking team quarterback, which kind of solves some of the problems here, we're going to pick individual quarterbacks. And if your quarterback doesn't play, because we're making these picks on a Wednesday on the show, we want everything to be on the show. If your quarterback doesn't play, you automatically get the backup quarterback that comes in and plays. If you've already selected the backup quarterback, thus making him ineligible, then you get a 75 QBR, which would be one of the top 5 QBRs in any given week. So you get punished. And obviously, we're hunting for the lowest QBR. So last week, here were the results. Old Macadac off to a 1-0 start here.
Very good.
By selecting Daniel Jones.
Funny, because you debated among the two players, the two QBs.
I know.
You came out with the right one instead of Sam Darnold.
I thought about Darnold on the road, seeing ghosts in that stadium, but Daniel Jones, skittish Daniel Jones off an injury against Brian Flores' defense, felt too good to pass up. So he had a 16.2 QBR on a 0 to 100 scale. Judd selected Bo Nix. Nice job, Judd. 31.3 QBR for Bo Nix. Very bad.
I didn't win, though.
And then, Dex, not a terrible strategy. You went with a more established future Hall of Fame quarterback, and it was the third QBR of the week, so you finished last place. But Aaron Rodgers with a 51.1 QBR might serve you well, like, over the 18 weeks. So, because there's the week-to-week, but then there's the season-long marathon as well here. So, by the way, the worst quarterback in week 1 was Deshaun Watson, a 9.3 QBR for old Deshaun Watson.
What the hell is going to become of that situation?
Yeah, it's kind of.
I don't know.
I don't know
what's
why.
Gonna improve.
I find this weird amount of joy watching Baker succeed and Cleveland Browns fans being stuck with Deshaun Watson. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
I think I know why.
But it's fun. It's funny to watch this unfold.
Yep. It's always fun to watch a friend flail in Cleveland.
Baker kind of, as they once said in the WWE, Vince McMahon, Brett screwed Brett. Baker kind of screwed Baker. Baker didn't make it easy on himself. He was contentious with media and didn't play all that well. But, God, to sell your soul for Deshaun Watson. And by the way, that the new suit that came out this week, there's some speculation that maybe the organization wanted that information out so they could start the ball rolling on.
About to be invoked?
Yeah.
This was the final straw. Despite all of those lawsuits from the massage people, this is the final straw, Deshaun.
But keep in mind, like, when all of that other stuff was happening, they were sort of like gritting their teeth and saying, yeah, but we're getting the Texans version of Deshaun Watson. So, like, once they see him play at that level, then they'll all forget about it. And he's one of the worst quarterbacks in the league now. He hasn't been good since 2020. It's one of the craziest falls. I mean, he was a borderline top 5 quarterback who's now unplayably bad and like the third most expensive guy in the league.
And we loved him. Like when there was a prospect that we thought that they might get, that the Vikings could be in line to get that Texans version of Deshaun, I remember thinking, oh my God, this guy's a winner. He's a great player. And I mean, this fall off this quickly has been incredible.
Oh, man. So we're going to go reverse order of last week's results, which means Dex gets the number 1 pick this week. Judd, you get the number 2 pick, and then I get the 3rd pick. And we're looking for the worst quarterback play here with our selection. So, Dex.
Well, because of what exactly we just talked about, I will gladly take Deshaun Watson with my first pick because I don't know how many more starts we'll even see Deshaun Watson in a Browns uniform. So I will take Deshaun Watson.
Oh,
Deshaun Watson at the Jaguars in week 2. Yep. A little road game.
A couple other options, which I'm guessing you guys snipe up here. But
there are some interesting options.
I wanted to take Deshaun. So
there are interesting options, including a Monday nighter where a quarterback who seems to go into Philadelphia every year in week 2 goes into Philadelphia. That would be a fun one to take, but I am going to jump on this because of the potential short-term nature, and I think it's going to be a disaster. I will take Malik Willis as my quarterback.
Yeah, because like if it doesn't go well, he might not be available to pick starting in like week 4.
Yeah.
So you almost strategically, it makes some sense. Yeah, home against the Colts. So it is. I'm guessing they're going to try and pound the rock and trick that system up. They're probably not going to ask a whole lot of him. So maybe if he only throws like 12 passes and keeps the ball on the ground, you might get screwed here. But
I'll take the chance.
And that leaves me with so many options.
Are you going to do it?
I got Kirk against the Eagles.
You got the Achilles.
I got Will Levis against the Jets. Bryce Young against the Chargers and Jim Harbaugh. Oh, but I feel like I have to go Kirky boy because there's much like Malik Willis, just sort of a different circumstance. If he's deemed not healthy enough to play, like we might not get many cracks at Kirk Cousins here if he's. And they showed more film on Get Up this morning. They were breaking some of it down. on ESPN, the only team in the league that did not throw a play action pass in week 1. In his whole career, he has thrived off of play action, bootlegs, just all of that sort of protection you get from play actions. And the theory is that they can't do like the play action zone fake out and then he rolls out because he can't run and roll out confidently. So I think they all decided, let's just have him sit back there and dissect the defense, pistol shotgun. So they're going on the road at Philadelphia, and it's prime time. It's all the factors. I have to pick Kirk Cousins. I don't see it as any.
Does he finish this game? That's my question. Does he finish this game?
Yeah, and the Eagles' defense isn't like that intimidating. I feel like you can score on that defense, but
he can't run. You're right. He can't move. Like if you can't move, I don't care who you're playing.
If a man can't stand, he can't fight.
Plant his foot. He can't plant his throw. His right foot. It basically he's like lifting his feet up and trying to throw. I mean, he's got a good arm, but it ain't that good.
We should send him some Viking scratch game tickets, just for old times' sake.
He needs the money, no question about it. In fact, right here. The new Vikings scratch game is the official scratch game of the Vikings. You could win up to, as you can see right here, win up to $100,000, or you can't see it, but there's second chance prizes, including season tickets or an away game trip, which could be incredibly fun. That's officially exciting. Minnesota Lottery. Just say I'm in. Must be 18 or older to play. Go pick one of these up today. You see this one? It's $5 to buy it. You can win up to $100,000. Minnesota Lottery has your opportunity to win big.
Amen. So, the rest of the week, just some programming notes on Purple Daily. So, Trenches with Boone is back this week, but Boone is traveling. He has an ailing relative that he's checking on this week. So, Jeremiah Searles, former Vikings offensive lineman, is going to fill in, and we're going to record a film breakdown later on today. So, that should be up sometime on this Wednesday. We've got Judd at the Vikings practice facility to fill us in on any news, injury updates, any tough questions for Kevin O'Connell.
No real tough questions this week.
Well, I feel like
never know.
Listen, man, it's. I feel like the Vikings, you can't get too high, so they might need someone to come in, sports dad, and bring them down a peg in this press conference.
You call that football? What you did Sunday? You call that football?
I mean, it was the Giants, right, Kevin? I mean, we can all agree.
I look around this room and see a bunch of losers.
Loser, winner. So Thursday, and then we'll do a bonus episode tomorrow, and then obviously Feedback Friday, Purple Pick. So tons more coming here. If you're new to Purple Daily, maybe you just stumbled into this thing this week, you're excited. Daily Vikings, 365 days a year. Phil Mackey, Judd Zulgad, Declan Goff, and our cast of contributors. The Before I Die podcast from Monday with Ross and Jesse and Miles. And then also you guys pumped out with Tyler Fornes a meat and potatoes episode yesterday. So all the Vikings discussion you can handle here. We just want the Vikings to win a Super Bowl before we die.